allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the meeting of May 13th. Roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Barber? Here. Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. Langley?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here. Okay, well, that's Diane, our town clerk and tax collector. We have Matt, our attorney, Courtney, water sewer superintendent, Mike Farrell, highway superintendent, Bob, our code officer, Dave, our dog control officer, Pam, our secretary, and the public, and John Ryan, the Gazette. Before we start, I would like to add we're going to go way down to number 14, number 14A. We're going to do it right after 14A, to add executive session for purpose of discussion of the New York State DEC report on Orchard View that we got an email on today. So I need a motion and a second for that. Nicholas made it. Second. Rick, second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we're going to add that to 14A. That report just came in today, so. So we'll move right along. We're going to go to number 4. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board meeting on April 25th, 2019. Jim Langley. I'll second. Mel second. Any discussion? Good. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Number 5, go along. Motion discussion to accept all reports from departments water, sewer, Velcor, highway, town clerk, dock control officer, youth department, code zoning, supervisor report, court report, website report, JCO report, and banking report. We need a motion and a second for that.
Make the motion.
Recommend the motion.
Second.
Douglas? Any discussion on any reports? All in favor? Aye. 5 ayes. One passed. Number 6, community input. Anyone signed up? Would anyone like anything on that before we go on? Community input? Now, do you want to speak for community input at all?
I'm okay unless you have any questions. I don't have anything specific. What I did in your reports, I did 2. One of them, the one that's handwritten, was the one Samantha did. She started on April 22nd, and she was really quite busy. Because she served 25 people with 25 families in the food pantry. She's a really nice young lady. But if you have any questions after you look at the report, just give me, call me or ask me. But we do serve quite a few people in the town of Peru. The number of the people we serve, 62% are out of below 100% of poverty. So I think that's one thing that's telling us, they're having a hard time. And I went through and 41% receive income from like employment and other services. We have a good number of people, 80%. Like it doesn't add up to 100 because some people have more than one source of income. But 80% are either getting Social Security, SSI, or pension benefits, and they might be included in the people that are also working. But there's a lot of need, and I guess it's really busy. It's up and down. But this month has been last month was really busy, and this month is too. So, and I have to, I live in this town, but I have to tell you because I worked at my job at JCO for 29 years, and I started here. But the donations and the support in this town with this program are amazing. Really amazing. So I just want everyone to know it's an amazing community.
Nice to see people come in every day with their cards and stuff like that.
We do. A lot of donations, and then the people in need, really are in, you know, a lot of people in need, but there's also some need donations, so it works out good. Works out great.
Thank you for that report. It's actually a good report for the whole year of 2018.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else on the reports, anyone? We did approve them, so we're good. Okay, let's do your input. Number 7, resolution discussion. So I need a motion and a second for local law regarding professional fees and planning and zoning for number 7. So I need a motion and a second for the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mel made the motion.
I'll second.
Rick second. We have Diane read the resolution, and then if we have discussion, anything, we can. Yep.
Passing town law number 1 of 2019 regarding reimbursement of professional fees for planning and zoning. Whereas a public hearing having been held on the proposed town law on May 13, 2019, and whereas the board has before it the proposed town law, now be it resolved that town law number 1 of 2019 providing for reimbursement of professional fees for planning and zoning is hereby adopted.
Okay, any discussion on it? We did have the public hearing 20 minutes ago. No one showed up for it. There was no comments, no. Anything on it? Anything you want to add, Bob?
Just what Matt and I discussed is after the local laws recorded with the state and returned to the town, that he'd asked that local law be forwarded to any applicants for subdivision regulations so they're aware that law existed. And that covers us, and we'll certainly do that.
Maybe post it outside your door for 6 months
Yep.
or 12 months,
Yep.
something like that.
Yep, no problem. Yep.
Comments on it? If not, roll call.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. 5 yeses, it passes. Okay, moving right along to another resolution discussion. Number 8, resolution discussion for new purchase of a park mower, like Courtney's requesting. So we need a motion second for the resolution and then discussion if you want.
Motion for discussion.
Motion for discussion, Jim Langley,
Second.
second, okay. Let's open for discussion.
So are we replacing one of the motors?
Yeah.
Is it like the Toro or the Ferris or?
Probably be the smaller Toro, the older Toro.
How much, do you remember roughly how much we paid for those Ferris?
It's a little over 6,000, I believe.
So what is it that you're thinking of a diesel this time?
Well, they carry a diesel truck on the truck. And a pickup truck that makes it easier, they don't have to fuel it as much. Diesels go longer on a tank of fuel. They seem to be last a little longer. The gas, we have had quite a bit of issues with it. The Ferris hydro locks a lot when you get it on a hill.
I know they haven't really.
The one we replaced, we put 3 engines on it, which is a gas.
The Toros, you normally have the new cab for this year's motor, so do you?
No, they're a lot more durable. Yeah.
So,
And I priced the 2 Toros with the same model, and I priced the John Deere. And the John Deere was quite a bit more. They're all state contract.
so how much less would the gas Toro be?
I believe it was 11 or 12,000.
So something.
It wasn't really that much difference.
I realize the motors can last a long time. It's the underneath,
Yeah.
the drivetrain, the cooling deck, and all those that will fail before that or whatever. How long were we keeping the Toros before we made the change to the Ferris?
I think our oldest one right now is like 2003. And there is another model diesel that is more than that one. If you go with the Hammer diesel, that was 17,000.
Well, forgive me for the price difference. I can see the point with the diesel, so. You've answered my question. Thanks.
And we do have 3 bids, which is in front of us. The range from 13,620 to 19,549, the highest.
Is the other one we're replacing, are we getting rid of it, or are we gonna keep it for backup?
No, I'll put it out. When the new one comes, we'll have to put it up for surplus.
Okay.
I'll still have a backup.
Any idea ballpark what it's worth, roughly, or not really?
Yeah, like maybe 2,000-3,000.
Okay.
That's what the price is going now.
But it's still a good mower. I just put a left drive in the left side in last year and then. Still runs good.
How wide was the mowing deck on that one?
What's that?
What size mowing deck's on that one?
I believe that was a 72 also.
Any other discussion? Thoughts? Resolution, Diane?
A resolution to purchase a Toro zero-turn mower with 25 horsepower, Kubota diesel engine, and a 72-inch deck by the town of Crew Parks Department. Whereas the town of Crew Town Board has found a need for a new Toro zero-turn mower with a 25 horsepower Kubota diesel engine, 72-inch deck for the town parks department. And whereas the town board and the water sewer park superintendent have determined that the new Toro zero-turn with a 25 horsepower Kubota diesel engine offered by Samples Lawn and Garden LLC will enable the town to provide a continued level of quality service to the town's residents at a reasonable price. Now it is being resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to sign all paperwork to execute this purchase as soon as possible.
And we should note the price was $13,620. $13,620. They were the lowest bidder of the three.
And you had money in your equipment fund paid for?
I actually budgeted to replace 2 this year, but they're a little more than I thought, so I'm only gonna do the one. We weren't gonna do diesel before. It's kind of focused on a little.
You think you'll
And we do
eventually
care.
convert everything to diesel?
Yeah, we already have one other diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be our second.
I mean, that's your intention to
Yeah.
eventually go all diesel?
Makes more sense. The fuel truck, the tank in the back of the truck carries diesel. You don't have to carry gas cans. In that closed trailer, the diesel will go a lot farther on fuel, tank of gas.
Who's the bid? Who's the,
Samples longer.
It's cheesy. Okay. So roll call.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, moving right along. Number 9, resolution discussion for youth commission background checks. We've talked about this for a long time. We finally got the paperwork. We'll be all set to go. We just got to pass a resolution to do it. And this is something that Matt's, our attorney's been forcing for a couple of years to get this done to protect the town, obviously. So I need a motion second, either open discussion or to read that resolution.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Resolution.
Resolution to use sportsenergy.com for all background check needed for youth program coaches and volunteers. Whereas the town of Peru has a youth commission that runs sports-related programs and activities for benefit of the residents of the town of Peru and surrounding areas. Whereas the town of Peru board desires to ensure the safety of all youths and participants involved in activities by the youth commission. And now, we'll just go past that one. Thanks, Matt. And to that end, has researched different entities that conduct comprehensive background checks. And whereas the town of Peru shall utilize sportsenergy.com for the purpose of conducting background checks on youth commission board members, coaches, and volunteers. And whereas the town of Peru shall require every member of the youth commission, every coach and assistant coach, and any other volunteer having contact with youth involved in an activity sanctioned by the Peru Youth Commission to have a comprehensive background check completed by sportsenergy.com. And whereas the town of Peru shall pay for or reimburse the cost of the background check, which is $18.50 per individual. And whereas the results of the individual background check shall be provided to the town confidential secretary, and said results shall be secured in a town-owned safe. Now therefore be it resolved and determined by the town board of the town of Peru that sportsenergy.com shall be used for any background check needed by the Peru Youth Sports Commission.
Any comments or any discussion on this?
Do we have any closer to the number of how many people we're talking about? Do we have any better idea than last time?
I really don't have the whole total. How many you got the total?
I got almost a whole total. We're still going to have a few come fall soccer. I was flabbergasted. It's at 109 right now.
Can I get a list of all of those,
Yeah.
every single person, so
Yeah.
that if you fill out, I can check them off?
Yeah.
Um,
I think, when we discussed this, they discussed it at the youth commission meeting. John put it out there on the floor, how many do you think we're going to have? And I said, 60? And he kind of snickered. He said, more than that. I said, are you kidding me? He says, no, we're at 109 right now. And he said, come fall, we're going to pick up a few more soccer coaches. So he said, that's going to take care of the summer plus the fall. I said, all right. So that's where we stand.
How many teams do we have?
I'm not sure right now. They had the little kids, there's a lot.
So are we going to do it when we know that they're going to be the coach, or we're going to do a contemplation of all of them, and then maybe we don't have them? So what I'm saying is, are we doing summer and spring and fall, or are we just going to have a list like right now, and then we run it on somebody, and maybe their season comes up and they don't come forward?
No, I would say that, and I'll talk this over with John, about doing the ones that are current right now that we need,
Yeah.
and then we will do the ones in the fall that we have to do come fall.
Yeah, but once your teams get formed in fall, I looked at this website, this will take an individual less than 5 minutes to do. So once the teams get formed in the fall, the youth commission will know who those coaches are before you can have a practice. You gotta have this information in the town. And then what we can do, people that, on the youth commission, people that are repeat coaches, volunteers, commission members, once a year, we can just have them sign, we can pick a date every year. So I'm still a coach, my background check date at this date, no information pertaining to me has changed, sign it, have them sign it under oath. You know, that really what we wanna do is make sure the information's out there as current and the town is covered, and that'll settle it. So I think we'll have a huge cost at the outlay of this, and as long as we have repeat volunteers and coaches, I think the cost will really decrease a lot in the next couple of years.
Matt, they asked at the youth commission meeting, if we do that, and they come in and they sign an affidavit saying, my status has not changed. What if it has? And they're like,
Well, I mean, I will talk to the insurance company about that, because each insurance company is a little bit different on how they want things set and how they want things worded, and what the coverages they want. And we'll discuss what we want that language to be, and if we want to do that, or if we want to have people every year redo the background check, we can do that too. That's a decision we can make.
I told them, you know, from year to year, most of the people that do this. He said, one of the people on the youth commission said, I would feel about this high if we didn't check everybody and something were to happen and we could have checked. Somebody or someone lied and signed one of those papers and said, nothing changed, and it did.
Right, but it's an excellent point. It's just, I mean, it's a question of money. How much, the time frame, the time required to do this check for each individual to sit at a computer and log on to this website is less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse there. And so that would just be a question of fun. If you want to do it every year, there's absolutely no downside to doing these every year. Or every,
It's a month, but
We have never done them, that's
I'm gonna put
why.
this out
Yeah, again,
there.
it's one of
I'm
those
sure
things that-
everybody on this board would feel pretty poorly if something happened to one of those kids. and-
Sure, but say during the course of a 3-month season, you do one February 1st, and then that coach gets arrested March 1st. There's no real-time update to this, so it's not like Matt Favre puts in my information, then I get arrested, so I get notified.
Mhm.
It's only as good as the information that goes in at the time, so there's always that running risk. This just gives you a level of security at the outset. You know, it's real-time information that can change. It's gonna be mostly people paying attention, knowing what's going on, know who's involved in different things. And I think for the most part, people involved in the youth commission are gonna have a pretty good feel for who's around, but there's no downside to doing it either. It's a question of how much you wanna do it, and then, so we'll evaluate it kind of as we go, I guess, on a cost basis.
And on top of that, how often does something happen that this town doesn't know about it?
Well,
I mean, people,
you're right. You're right.
we got the court system, we got everything, you know.
So to clarify this resolution, we are doing this right now as a one-time thing on people for this year.
I think what we're saying is everybody that's involved in the youth commission at all is going to have to do this. People that are involved now, we can do it immediately, and then for, I guess, for summer sports now, so for fall sports, this is kind of like a rollover thing, it's gonna just continue until somebody decides not to use this. So anybody that's youth commission involved, coach, or volunteer coach going forward, before they can have contact with children, they're gonna have this now.
And we'll take another look at it a year from now.
Yeah, we'll evaluate the cost after you figure out what we want to do going
Because
forward.
you got summer teachers, where they're out there with the camps. You've got, and I told them this, you've got kids that get hired that are helping out. And I said, if they're minors, they shouldn't be doing this. So you got the youth commission kids that are getting paid, then you've got the coaches, the assistant coaches, and then you've got the summer camps.
Well, any youth wouldn't be on that anyways. If there was somebody who was a student that's coaching or assistant coach or working, they wouldn't have a record in here anyways, correct, Matt?
Not necessarily. You could be, my understanding is you could be a registered sex offender, you could be 16 or 17 years old. Potentially depending on the level of crime you were convicted. I think it's rare, but it's certainly, I believe, legally possible.
So we would have to have a parent's permission for the child or the parent to fill it out.
Yes.
But I would think that we don't want, if there's a background check, I mean,
Yep.
I think you have to, say you're definitely doing it and.
And the youth commission, when they go out looking for volunteers, coaches, whatever, I don't know if there's an application or how it's done, but it should say, you will be required to have a background check done using sportsengine.com. That should just be right in front of it. It's not pretty little league involved in that. It's before you step foot on the field, you have to have this done, the league has to have a copy of it.
Talking about what Rick just said though, too, being teachers, there's a lot of teachers on there. Wouldn't the teachers, yes, we want to do everyone, but wouldn't the teachers have something as a teacher that they have to have a background check, and if anything ever happened, the education department would be aware
I
of it?
believe teachers and TAs
Because there's a lot of them.
are
Everything can save
fingerprinted
money
so
there.
that they have a background check done on their fingerprints. That's one of those things that there's a real time hit.
Money.
Somebody that's fingerprinted in a professional like a teacher gets arrested, the union and the school gets notified, I believe, in a matter of days, so-and-so's been arrested for this, take whatever action you want, there's a real-time notification. So there may be people that have ongoing background checks, somebody in law enforcement, anybody that's gonna have that information that it's already on file, that's gonna be a real-time update. So you may not necessarily need or want people that have ongoing checks kind of happening in the background anyway to get this done, if it's costly.
That would save a lot, because if you think of how many teachers actually volunteer, I can name 20, 25 of them.
Yeah.
Can you write up something, Matt, that's?
But yeah, what may be better is if there's a youth commission meeting coming up, something with the data, I can try to get to it and talk to people and see kind of what the lay of the land is as far as what the numbers would be. And I will talk to a superintendent of local schools, so just make sure I'm right on what the background check consists of for that profession specifically. I mean, we can ask coaches and anybody's want to do it. If you have a background check done lately, for what purpose? The big thing is if fingerprints are involved, I believe it's real-time update. This, what we're doing, is not required people to go get fingerprinted, so it's a one-time, what's out there as of today's date. The fingerprinting ones generally mean if your fingerprints get hit again, because you got rearrested or something happened, they're going to get an update on that, which would cover us for what we need to do.
Next meeting is May 28th, 6:30.
Okay, should be able to make that. Here,
Yes.
20, 26. Yeah, because I think we could eliminate a lot if that's the case before.
Sports engines, also wanted to know, there's a section, if you look in the pages behind it shows what the background screening would look like. And there's a section, there'll be a couple of boxes that you can put in questions, any questions that we want. You know, have you had a background screening? Have you worked for the town or have you volunteered for the town before? So,
We could put something like that in there about the fingerprinting.
Get as much information as possible.
right, so all I need to do is get whatever questions you want, and then they'll put it in like tomorrow if we have them, or as soon as you have them, and then they'll do it right away, and then I can send out the,
If you think of it, call me tomorrow if you need more of those.
okay. Because there was a few that he had already that he had put on ones before, you know, basically if you worked in this position before, what's your relationship, whatever,
Have you ever been in my position working with children or something like that?
that type of thing.
Okay.
So, and it takes 3 to 5 days
Okay.
to get them back usually, so obviously we want to get this out sooner the better.
Okay.
And then when it comes back, it'll just say whether that person, I can check it every day, it'll say that person is either passed or flagged. And obviously, if it's flagged, I would send the information to you, I'm assuming, and then I'm not involved in it.
Okay. And if it is flagged, it would be something that would be discussed in executive meeting with the board, figure out what, if that person can continue or whatnot.
So, otherwise than that, it's all set up and ready to go, except those few questions.
Thanks.
Yeah, comment?
Are we clear yet on whether we're reimbursing or the bill in the town direct?
No, they're billing the town direct. But like I said, I need a listing of all of the people who will be filling them out.
Anything else? Okay, so roll call.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Mr. Douglas.
Yes.
Mr. Irwin,
Yes.
Mr. Langley.
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes. Okay, moving along to number 10. This came up middle of the month, or beginning of the month, just for motion and discussion only, about talking about the bill paying twice a month. A lot of people at the end of the month, you look at the bills a lot where Judy fills out the bills. We get a bill and it say paid, even though it says, say $500, but it paid $250, is because the bill got billed the first or second of the month, but they don't get the check until the 7th or 8th. So a lot of the times I'm looking at the bills when I'm signing them, and when we look at the bills here, it'll say paid already, or it'll look like we're not paying the full amount. It's just because of the overlaps of the end of the month. There's nothing harmful of doing it twice a month. It's nothing really much more, Pam, like we discussed it, and Diane. It's something that we're going to discuss.
It's more for efficiency.
It makes me crazy.
It drives a lot of people nuts. In signing the bill, it drives me nuts because I'm looking at one thing, but we didn't pay that. And so then I got to question Judy a lot, and Diane sees the same thing, and Pam does. And it drives me nuts because I will question Judy 10 times every time I sign vouchers, why didn't we pay this full amount? And then she'll say, oh, because we sent it in and they didn't get it until after the 6th or 7th of the month we got the bill. It's really,
And the NICEAG bills are the perfect example.
Yeah.
Because there's always a lapse, and then it's gotta get all deciphered and this and that, and then we get shut off notices because it's not going in the right, blah, 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 blah.
More efficient.
and
It's
cutting
more
checks
efficient.
doesn't cut it. It's not like, it's just more efficient. Right, fill me in, Pam, it doesn't cost any more, it's just more efficient. It doesn't cost any more to do it this way.
Plus, there's also more and more companies, like Endyne just sent out a notice that they're going to start charging finance charges or interest. And, we're we're not supposed to be paying those, but
Yeah.
what can you do if, you know, we're not paying them in a time, I mean, it's a timely manner as far as we're concerned, but not as far as they're concerned. So it helps keep it, so we're not fighting about finance charges and having to call all the time. It's easier because you're doing it more often. You're not doing 300-400 bills or invoices or 200 or 300 invoices at the end of the month.
And if we miss something, we can catch it 2 weeks from now. You know, if we miss something in between, where if we miss something by the end of the month, we're going another whole month. So, I mean, it was just for discussion, but if someone wants, if everyone thinks it's a good idea, we can, I mean, it makes sense.
Doesn't hurt to try for a couple months either, you can always go back if it becomes a problem.
I can't see ever being a problem. The only thing we're gonna have is, we're just gonna have 2 meetings of paying the bills, you know, like we do now, just at the end of the month. It'd be just breaking it up, and like I said, it doesn't cost a single penny. Everyone's here regardless of, you know, the bills coming in and out, and just more
Well, it's
efficient.
also easier for the councilman to
Now look through
check
3.
them. Instead of
usually
looking through 3 folders where, you know, you're looking through half that, and it makes it easier for you guys to keep the checks and balances in line.
So, want more discussion on it and bring it to next meeting, or do you guys think we're?
No, I think, me personally, you're the ones that have to deal with it on a regular basis. If you think that it makes sense, and you have to deal with it, and everything that I heard makes sense, so. I mean, you gotta pay them. You're not doing any more checks than you normally are, and it's not costing you anymore, and it's making your accounting simpler.
Yeah.
Pretty cut and dry. Yep, I mean, it's seven damage, it makes it a lot.
It makes it a lot easier. It drives us all nuts when we're looking at a bill and it's not being paid in full. So then you have to look back and say, oh, yeah, we did pay it last
I know
month.
what towns do, they only have 1 meeting a month.
I know. Same thing we've done for years. It's just, yeah.
Well, and it also gives you less chance for errors, somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
You know.
Good. So I think we're ready. If you guys want to make a motion in a second that we just pay the bills twice a month. No, I mean, it's not, it just.
Just not spending any more money.
No. Okay.
Make that motion.
So Jim Douglas made the motion.
I'll second it.
Second by Mel. All in favor? Aye. There we go. 5 ayes. One easy. Just make it everything a lot easier. Okay, number 11, we're gonna move on. Motion and discussion, zoning map change for the nephew Fuller lot on Dashmount Road. Bob, you wanted this on here?
Sure.
You need a motion and second to
I'll make the motion.
Jim Langley.
I'll second.
Second Mel, open for discussion.
A few months ago, I was approached by Tina Covey for discussion on that 20-acre parcel that Richard Matthew and Steve Fuller own. That's on Dashno Road. One lot separated from Bear Swamp. So that lot is in the commercial zoning district. At one time, there was a sketch plan review that never made it beyond that for actually a 54 lot subdivision. Again, never made it beyond sketch plan review with the planning board. That was prior to the current zoning that's in effect. So in the current zoning, at one time that was residential, again, that's now commercial. And approached the planning board to see if they would consider doing a zoning map change to allow for residential. Right now, no residential without a use variance. And although that members of the board felt that there certainly should be more residential use in that district, and certainly to help Courtney in this water and sewer department, they didn't want to get into another lot that they have to say, yeah, okay. They felt maybe there might be some kind of spot zoning in. So in the zoning map, in our zoning code, under Article 8, under amendments, the town board, on its own motion, could say, they think it's time that this lot could be changed to a residential zoning district. I made a copy of it here. I think everyone's aware of the lot that we're speaking of, but again, it's been approved with town water and town sewer. And it just kind of makes sense. And put the feelers out to the town board to see if they feel it's necessary that there is an amendment made, change, and that
I'd be
we
in
found
favor of it.
I would be too.
we would.
I'd be in favor of it.
It took forever, even some commercial development on Bear Swamp Road, and I know from the county planning opinion, they think that whole area behind me and so forth should be commercial, should remain commercial. It's been, I've been there 11 years.
Or knocking at the door.
And other than Dunkin' Donuts, nothing, right? So you have what you have. We're a small community. I think commercially we get a lot of things addressed already that have been.
Right.
And I don't know how much more you're going to, I don't think that you're going to have a car dealer drop in there or
Right.
something, so. And from a utility standpoint, I think it's ideal for us, and the
Right.
natural gas feed is
That's
another
right there,
good.
yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, if you want to see development and assessments increased and growth in the town,
They have,
easy access to the Northway for people that are traveling back and
Right.
forth from Blacksburg.
and there's approximately, there's 800 or 900 feet of road frontage on the Dashnote Road, so, I mean, definitely significant road frontage there, that's not a concern. So, with that being said, I guess it's a matter of setting a public hearing, just following the same procedure, yeah, and Matt would.
Have Matt do it up to the
Yep.
process, but
Okay,
as Matt says, it's not a horrible process.
no,
to
it's
do.
not, it's basically the same process that we
Did
follow.
we just do this?
What's that?
We just did this somewhere else, right? Just amended
We
it
did,
somewhere?
on the Davy driveway, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'll work,
Okay.
same thing, I mean,
Was there a smaller map you could have brought with you or no?
well, I had to. So it's, yeah. I know what you're saying. So.
Does it? You want to change it to- What about this one?
That's basically the industrial, yeah, this goes with this now.
How many acres is that?
20.
20
A
acres.
little over 20.
For doing it, wouldn't it make sense to make this the same as this, instead of having a regular commercial stuck in the middle of a couple other things?
You can, right, because if this is hooked with this, this land is hooked with this one.
Right, so then you have two different zonings on the same parcel,
It's
so
the
you
same,
got
it's the
everything.
same, it's the same tax parcel.
Oh, so this should be this color, you're saying?
What's that?
This should be that color on this
Yeah.
map? Okay, that's already done that. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Can I keep this?
Yep.
It already makes sense. I mean, as Jim was saying, and we all know, we need development in the town, water sewer district to expand like that with that many users will only help. And, I mean, there ain't no one commercial knocking on our door every single day to go into somewhere like that.
Well,
So
I
it's
think-
just 32.1, just the one on Dashnote Road? Right?
What's that?
It's just the one that has 32.1, right?
That's a tax map number.
Maybe we could give some more capital to it in other places too.
Speaking of commercial property, right next to Maple Fields, where the apple barrel used to sit before it burned. That's been vacant now since the 70s. And nobody's come in there knocking on the door to buy it. If somebody,
The other side of Bear Swamp too.
if somebody wanted
Several
it,
times,
it
but-
had been sold.
Exactly.
Right.
Now here we got a chance to develop something.
Sure, they would have quarterly, I mean,
Yeah.
town for water and sewer, and
So, okay, so I think it's a majority that we move forward and have Matt start working on what we just did over, development over there already. Sure. Davy Drive. Good. No, I don't.
We'll do a motion when you get to the public
Yeah.
hearing.
Everybody set the public hearing. Good. Thank you, Bob, and thank you all. Cool. So that's good. Number 12, discussion sewer collection project update. We did have a workshop last week. I think it went very well, just a nice update. There's some things that AES has to get us, a couple of resolutions for machinery to keep the equipment, not machinery, equipment the same. So there's a couple resolutions they're gonna get to us. The week of the 20th, we were updated that they're gonna camera the system behind the houses to see what kind of shape they're in. But it'd be nice if we could use some of the old stuff, obviously to save us some money. And there was one more thing on that list that really stuck out. What was the other thing? There's something else. There's 3 things that I had for them. Those are the resolutions. They're gonna do it the week of the 20th, and then there was one more.
We're gonna try and get a requisition of the payment.
Yes, there was that, but there was one other thing.
To get some of the money back, right?
Yeah, because it was gonna be less than they expected on the buildings because of not having a structured building around them and a couple other things, but.
How much it goes to get money from back, because you've already paid out, so we get reimbursed.
Yeah, I think of a third thing, but hey, regardless, anything from last week's meeting? Is there any new update?
Nothing's changed since that meeting, no, just the,
Chester did come in and look today.
yeah, he emailed me, he had a question about where, according to the, I believe his question was how close to the property line is the property, but I responded to him, but I haven't heard back yet.
It's 10 foot for that one on Sanborn,
Because
yeah.
I know he's wanting to try to keep it as north as possible and not long. Or his wishes. Learned that nothing's changed except they are supposed to be here coming the 20th.
20th, the week of the 20th. And they're gonna let us know exact date when it gets to next week of what, exactly when.
I just have a question. Matt, is the town exempt with public utilities from the zoning code? Isn't there
I believe so.
so it really shouldn't matter now, I guess it's.
Any other update, anyone, or any more discussion on that? We have it on every meeting just to keep everyone informed, and I'm sure we'll have more meetings.
Just so the public knows, John did put it on the Gazette, that the updated map and information is Don Ripper has it on the website. Usually if I find out anything, I'll have Don and John put it on their website to try to keep the public informed. There were a couple questions about construction and stuff that we answered on the Facebook page for the Gazette.
Anything else? Okay. Number 13, discussion, other business. Rick?
Nope.
Jim?
One quick thing is, we had talked about that Main Street project, Adele called me today. She talked with Melissa and Mike. She said if they could get the price for blacktopping down at Hayward Basin and some sidewalks that wouldn't be put in and then tore up again. She was going to, she thought that we could use, she knew that we could use the money for Hayward Mason and stuff. And I just will be right up front with you because this is what I told her. She said, well, if we have to put it out, like we had said, and Mike doesn't know if he can or not, he had said he might do the sidewalk, but now with the Patton Road, so I'm not sure where you stand with that.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna know yet till I see what the design is. I think it's gonna be beyond what we can do.
Okay.
It sounds like it's gonna be huge, it's gonna involve cranes. But I talked to Peter Gibbs today on that. He's expedited everything, has a surveyor over there. And I did talk to the CHIPS guy, because there was a question on funding, we had paid it last year. Peter, by next week, will get back with me with a rough price to do that project. And talking with the CHIPS guy, I can use our paving money, which I think we're gonna have to, we got down to do a band. I did roll over the last 2 years because the paper broke. 2 years ago, we rolled over quite a bit, and we rolled over quite a bit last year because we were gonna pave Brand Hall in the snow had early before the plant closed. So I got quite a bit of money, but I still wanna see, I don't wanna use it all for that project and not be able to pay it because we got some roads that are really after this year that got busted up, and some of it's from the gasoline people. So we're dealing with that still, so that's where I am with that.
And And as far as the blacktop, would you commit to that? Or-
I can commit to that. The only question I had, I went down and wanted to see how much gravel's there, because that's gotta be dug out and around that loop. You're gonna put a couple inches of binder and an inch and a half of top, so I gotta make sure there's enough gravel there. We'll have to be careful because that's granite curb, and they just pour loose concrete in the back, that's all that holds at, so.
And you did get a price, you said you had that?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be between 16 and 17,000 somewhere in there.
If you could get that from me.
But that I definitely,
Can do the
I could do
sidewalk,
it.
you gotta raise. And what I was saying she was talking about the sidewalk, if Mike couldn't do it. And she said, well, I gotta tell you, we may have to put it out for bid again, and then we gotta see about, the women construction companies that, and we're like, I just gotta tell you that if we're gonna go through all of that again, she agrees. That's just, we're just chasing a tape for that. So, I mean,
That's if we have to hire it out.
yes. Yeah, right.
I would, if I could say something, I would recommend if we do pave down around the circle, we need to look at the parking down there and do something different. We need to provide more parking, because a lot of people park on the grass.
Would you
And
suggest,
now would be the time to do it.
would you suggest paving, or, put
Well, if you're gonna
black
pave it,
out
I
there?
would say, but we should probably put some, where it comes around, put more paving and move that trail that's there out.
Yeah.
Everybody parks on the grass down there,
They
runs
do
it
all the
off, it's a very busy park.
That would be the good, and I don't wanna say waste of money, but that would be the good time to utilize that money that what we got. Get it and to do it and do it right.
Use some of that, ones and dust you pull out of there to use a base for the tarmac.
yeah, I could use that, that'd be great. That should have gravel under it, and then the ones and dust and top.
Thank you. So if you get that from me, but that's all, she called.
On that Main Street project, Jim, too, is any possibility we could buy trees and have the town put those in? Get started some trees around town?
There, yes, I could ask us for that, but now we gotta get,
Same thing if we do it
Right.
ourselves, I'm saying, so we don't get involved.
The town would have to do it. If you guys could, in the next few days, because she's gonna be talking to Melissa, if you have some thoughts where we could use the money, where the town could do it, because if we're gonna put this stuff out for bid, and then we have to get, the WD and all that, we're just chasing it. But if you have some ideas, and, I'd like to use the money, planting trees would be great. Rick, Jim, if you have some thoughts on.
Give it Jim before he talks to Adele, and then Adele can ask him.
Yes.
We have service organizations that are always looking for projects and so forth, or an Eagle Scout that's looking for something like we did with the bike project, having
Yeah.
there's little toolkits around or whatever,
I agree, but the problem with that grant money is gotta be,
Plus also, don't
You gotta
forget,
jump
some of
through.
the residents were not crazy about getting trees in their yard because of maintenance or weeds in their pool or something. I don't mean to be rolling my eyes, but I mean, in one regard, you want beautification, right? And you want your area to look nice and so forth. I don't know why people complain about trees. You can decide the trees and like the county had to find out the government building, they have a certain tree that cooperative extension told them about the roots grow down. They don't have to go and spread out and damage your sidewalks and.
Some
roads
take
and
salt,
things like
some will withstand salt,
Yeah,
some
right.
don't grow tall.
that. And the cooperative extension, make that phone call, it doesn't cost you a nickel, so.
Look at some of the streets going into Burlington, into the downtown area of that. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, there's colorful trees, the pink ones are all out right now, and everything else. Looks
For the
nice.
longest time, the nicest neighborhood in the city of Plattsburgh was considered Grace Avenue
Yep.
until the ice storm, right? Destroyed all those trees.
Yep.
What was it that everybody liked so much about Grace Avenue? Was all the trees lining the street?
Yep.
So if you guys have anything, then, if you get to me, I'll get it to Adele. Okay, thank you.
Okay, other business matter. Last, there's a decimal. Matt, I'm good. Jim?
Nothing, thanks.
No.
Nothing more.
Courtney?
Not much.
You can go on Mike,
We finished sweeping today, got one spot, we're gonna use the grade all down by Dave's house. Sandy there, just as easy to pick up. I did meet with Val from DOT last week. If anybody's been to Keysville, they're putting the handicap ramps where it meets the intersections, they did it at Scholar Falls, but for some reason, they skipped Peru, and that would be a good place they would do that, that would be all done for us, and you could tie in and go. When I did walk this sidewalk piece for Adele, I thought it was actually the sewer manholes that were, near the intersections that were sticking up, but they're actually Montel's. I don't know what that is to get them to lower it. Yeah, well, right, yeah. But that's where we are in that. And another thought, Jim, I was thinking, as you mentioned, is a contractor. You could throw it out to Dell to ask if maybe you hire one or two guys just to finish it, to save on that prevailing wage, to work with us. When we get to fall, I think we're gonna have some time, especially if this project up in the patent is gonna go contractor. I'm willing to try it. I'm the only one who's ever finished concrete. Not saying we can't train anybody else, but that's bulwark. If you don't have the right people in place to do it, we got the stuff, most of the stuff to do it. It's just a matter of getting time, and where it's 4 foot, I would put 5. Make everything 5 foot, and that would be time to do it. There's plenty of room. I did talk to Jim about this. I come up with 2,385 feet. That's damaged, that should be replaced. I'll be honest with you, over on 22B, it's a lot worse than this section. But there's so much damage, if you start piecemealing it, you're gonna end up busting it 2 years later when you got enough money to rebuild it. To me, if you're gonna do it, start at point A and go. It's gonna take you a few years to do it. But that way you're always working on your old stuff, so if you crack it with a machine or whatever, it's not a big deal. But it's hard to, put 2 pieces in here, move down 1 5-foot slab and try to pull it again without damaging it. That would be my suggestion. But it's, it's whatever you guys want to do, but that's where we're at. Also, you've seen a lot of salt in the shed. On the rain date, we're short help with the 2 guys that are going to retire, so they're only working 2 days a week. So, and it's worked out with the weather, with the rain. So, Remiller's got his pit open. He had 630 ton left over from last year, because the way I do it, we do over two budgets for a salt, and we take those 2 days, we haul. By the end of summer, we'll have that pretty well up before the new salt contract comes up. I know that's up $10 a ton. That's, I figured 5 to 6 somewhere in there, and that's what I put in the budget. But that's where we are. That's all I got for now.
Plow blades, last year you ordered early because of the tariff.
Yep.
Tariff supposedly is going to 25%.
I did forget probably the most important thing. Last night, the text, an employee resigned. I won't go into particulars, public setting, but I was gonna make a decision today, one way or another, on the employee, so. Courtney pulled some of his things for me that he interviewed, a couple of them. One we had talked about earlier this summer, hired part-time, but after thinking about it, I talked to Courtney, I didn't want to take the chance to hire part-time and then have another guy that's gonna retire back out, and then this guy's gonna be out of the job, but he's definitely gonna be interviewed. And then I'm hoping by the next meeting I got an answer for you. That's it, that's it.
Yeah, I got the text message last night, and, but I knew what was going on last week too, so. Okay, anything else, Mike?
Nope.
Bob?
Just real busy, like, same. Things don't seem to be slowing down. Some folks aren't cooperating and they're in the going to court, so I've been in court quite often. And on a 2-week cycle, so we'll be for the next month, it looks like.
Like you fun, we go out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and go around town and we usually get 1 or 2 permits every day that we go out, and then, of course, then he has to do the paperwork for the court stuff, so. I just gotta start following the trucks with all the lumber on them. Every time I'm going.
I know where, okay.
But, thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Mr. Dave.
All you do is watch the news, you'll know where the hell I've been. We got 9 since in the last 13 days. I've taken 9 in, 5 at a time. 12 hours on the 5th, finding that angry one. And if Rebecca hadn't stepped in, I'd have been going alone. I had to use a pole to catch this one. Once we found her puppy, she turned right into a kitten.
I've stopped over there twice, and she's doing it really good.
Got a lot of help.
Hey,
You had to walk back to Washington Street. Is that what you just said? Go downstairs. There's 35 dogs down there. You want a puppy?
clarify that.
There's 35 dogs down there, puppies. We got some Alabama puppies with accents, they bark with accents and everything. That chick Blair come down and raise the shed up so I could get under it.
You didn't get under it, let's clarify that now.
What? You couldn't get under it, Chick Blair got under it. Hey, I wasn't getting under it.
You couldn't lift the shed high enough for him to get under.
I don't really care. I knew that was coming. I would have never even.
No way in hell was I going over there. You don't know where I am. Claustrophobic, I'm not getting under there. I promised to look after Stephanie if it fell on me, but that's as far as it goes.
You had a really good interview with the news that morning.
I talked to a guy that's an engineer for Channel 5. I had breakfast with him at campus. I said, my name was Tom Messner, and we were running a barbecue in Peru, but I got more than a minute and 20 seconds on there. He agreed with me.
Yeah, everyone did a great job. I mean, I was there just to hold a flashlight. And then they called me next morning to do an interview, and I'm like, no, Dave's doing it because I held a flashlight. That's all I could do with my arm. I couldn't do anything else. Even though everyone kept saying, jack it up, jack it up. I'm like, I can't with my arm.
I had two floor jacks under it. That's when I called Chip down with the backhoe to pick the shed up. It was a 12 by 24 almost shed. It was heavy. And then we still had to dig a trench about 1.5 to 2 foot down to get back into where the puppies were.
Thank God they didn't let Randy drive the tractor.
I was driving nothing. I went through my garage door that morning because of the female dog.
What's it gonna bring you up? You can't be on the cell phone driving.
Well, Mr. Jim called me to get down there because after a month and a half the dog was loose, get down there and it's only 3 houses down from mine, and of course I hit the garage door opener and went out and grabbed my garage door openers from my daughter's car because I was on vacation the week before, and guess what? I hit it again on the way out. It worked. I had a clear shot out to my neighbor's yard and everything. I had a clear shot because the door was 3/4 of the way down coming down, and
You could have walked that far.
I would have walked, you Dave.
I went to let it here in my car when I hit it. And then when Jim called again about 5 minutes later, asked me if I was coming down. I was not a happy camper, not because of you, just because of something stupid I did. But anyways, worked out.
Now it's your.
I just had to call Jim Langley for the insurance law.
Don't put that on the record.
Okay, anyway, moving on. Good, great job, everyone. Pam?
Just said the concerts are all set for the summer, and they'll go from June 30th to August 25th this year.
Well, we get beautiful weather like we did last year. It was hot. Okay, to my other business.
One more additional thing, Jim, the other day, before I forget about it, you had talked about going to DOT, finding out about painting this bridge.
It's already done.
Yeah.
It's on my other discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, talking about that, let me go to that first. I got a letter or an email last night, and of course you guys actually already talked about it. A Greg guy on the youth committee sent me an email about the language on the bridge and all that. Courtney, I called, he talked to DOT today. He just wanted to make sure it was on the bridge, if we could actually spray paint and do stuff on the bridge itself. And he found out that he could today, so he went down there about 1 o'clock-ish. It's spray painted and it's done. I took a picture of it. It's covered up. I mean, it's a spray paint. It just covered up the bad language at the kids' club. If I recall, and I could be wrong, I went to court. Of course, I go to court every Tuesday when I'm here. I went to court weekend before last, and there was someone in there for something. And last week, there was that same kid was in there again, and I'm almost pretty sure that was this, but with minors, they have to go in the back, so you don't hear what the court case is about, but I have a good feeling it was about the graffiti. But I could be wrong. But, so that graffiti is taken care of right now, it's right there.
Get the kid in our class or something.
Oh, we're gonna get him more in that. I wish they would, honestly, I wish they would give him some community service, because he's the same kid that did next door, and I hope there's some community service that they can give him soon, because obviously he has more time to spend doing stuff. Or one of the kids, there was two next door. The other business, I sent everyone a picture, I talked to Courtney, went over with Courtney and everything. The Girl Scouts, so the lady from Keysville sent me an email, I sent it to everyone. They would like to do a little project for the dog park, for the dogs can jump through. It's just a summer project that they're trying to get their silver badge, I believe she said in the email, or badge. And they would like to do that. No one seemed to have a problem at all. Courtney said absolutely not. It wouldn't be a problem, so I sent her back an email saying, you know, from what I got back, everything looks good. She's gonna have the kids send us a letter and just saying that, and then we can approve it out of meeting. Or so that's that. We got quotes back today, finally, from the doors for the new locks, the new lock system, because of how bad our locks are and the doors, the jams, and everything else. That's just for reviewing purpose. That'd be a future meeting to discuss, but that way you guys have them. This price is there, which I won't discuss. So there's that. And I could be missing something, but I think. Oh, the guy came on Thursday. I believe it was Thursday. It was the 8th. Wednesday it was. The guy came and went to the buildings, the highway, the water sewer, one with Courtney, one with Mike. There was a couple, I said, other than a couple minor things, it was very well organized over there. There's a couple lead cords here and there that he quoted on the thing. And then he said, while I was present, it was corrected. While I was there, it was corrected. There's nothing in response that we got to respond back to them. It's just a list of a couple concerns, but it's very little. He said it was very well organized and maintained each building. And thank you for your time and all that. And that was New York Insurance Fund. They come up once a year. So that went well. Other than that, bills, and then we have our executive session. Okay.
You got any comments?
Oh, I would get to the number 14 is public comments on the general item only.
This youth commission background check, what kind of offense could disqualify somebody from being able to work there? I mean, drunken driving, minor youth arrest, what's going to disqualify some of these volunteers?
I mean, it's going to come to the board when there is a flag. It's going to come to the board to discuss. I mean, it's going to be up to the board. But I mean, my thing, John, and we haven't really discussed it too much because we just got the information back, is if it has anything to do with younger kids or sex offenders, anything like that, or threats of any kind of like bad threats towards someone or someone.
Yeah, it's almost gonna have to be on a case-by-case basis, because not knowing exactly what the information is, we'll get back. A specific conviction of a specific crime may not tell you a whole lot about what happened, so you could see a conviction for something like endangering the welfare of a child. That may mean you did something to a child with a child present, or it may mean you committed another very inoffensive crime with a child present, and that was, you could commit the crime of stealing a packet gum from Walmart. If your 10-year-old's with you, you could also be charged with endangering the welfare of a child. But if that happens 10 years ago, would that disqualify you from being a soccer coach? Maybe, maybe not, be a board decision, but it's hard to say what a specific red line would be. I would say any kind of sexual offense at all, a sex offender, or somebody that's on a registered sex offender, I would think would be a complete bar, but a lot of other things I think would have to be case-by-case basis. And again, then it may be, if you're online, do you let the parents of the team know so-and-so's got this in their background? If that person's okay with it being made public, because a lot of these things are going to be public anyway if it's a convicted crime. And sometimes it's just get the information out there and then let parents make a decision based on the information and what they want to do. So I think it'll be something to figure out as we go and get some information.
Okay. Mike mentioned 2,385 feet of sidewalk. Where is that sidewalk that you tackle first?
She had me walk from where it starts at Dollar General to the bridge, and then from Becky's old restaurant back to the end down here.
Okay. Okay, that's probably good for you. Sorry.
Saturday Night Live here.
The other thing was, another subject, why is this thing on the DEC violation, why does it qualify for executive session?
Because there's still pending litigation involving that piece of property in the town. And this violation could very well be, if there is litigation, this is gonna be could be a basis for it.
Okay.
You can always.
I'm not a lawyer, I can't argue with you, but, okay.
You can argue me all you want.
Well, kind of goes to the thing you passed down on professional fees. I guess that, say the town incurred professional fees on this type project, will the developer have to pay your professional fees? Is that what it's saying?
No, it's basically, for an example, we had to have an architect or engineer come out to evaluate something. The town had to pay for that as part of the resolution or something, and we sent the bill to the developer. I think it was paid almost immediately.
It was.
So it's basically, if we have to have an independent consultant come out and look at a project that's before the planning board or the ZBA for water runoff or anything, and it happens a lot with bigger projects, the project is always responsible for the town's fees associated with that extra set of eyes on the project.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Anything else, John?
Nope.
Okay, so need a motion and a second to enter executive session on
We're gonna pay
the
those.
DC reports as well. Paid bills 15, so I did 14As. Okay, so we pay the bills. It's just, I had it bad. Okay, so resolution discussion to pay the bills. Any motion and a second? Douglas and Rick. Okay, resolution to pay the bills. Earl?
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims, bills, and invoices of the town. Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims, bills, and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in the first part of May 2019. The town approved vouchers in April 2019, 2019000548 through and including 2019000601, abstract dated 5/13/2019. For the dollar amount totaling $154,647.31. Of that, $10,135.76 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid, and $144,511.55 is remaining to be paid. $144,187.89 from accounts payable, and $323.66 from payroll account. And whereas the town board finds said claims, bills, and invoices to be acceptable in form and reasonable in amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims, bills, and invoices is approved, and the supervisor be and hereby is authorized to make such payment, and be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, so now I need a motion and a second to enter executive session. Jim Langley made the motion, Jim Douglas second, all in favor?
Aye.